Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at what the Bitcoin price is doing and also what Cardano is doing, of course, and give you an updated technical analysis. So let's start with Bitcoin here on the daily. We can see that Bitcoin has been performing quite well. Prices have gone up. Bitcoin has come through that resistance zone and is now above 50,500 even. We can, however, see that on the daily we are getting close to the overbought range like we were here. So when we reach that, typically you can see that here since July, typically all the time there were quite a bit of retracements whenever we came into that area. So we just need to be aware of that. So don't expect it continuously to rise. I talked about yesterday that there is still a risk that we could come down once more, because that push to the upside here, especially with that strange structure down here, is not what you typically see when the market is changing, right? From a correction to an uptrend, but you never know. So for me, however, we are not, the risk is still there, that we come down once more. We're not in a clear uptrend yet, for me. You can come to another different conclusion, but especially because we are going into a close overbought range now. We're very close to it. So I think we're not quite through yet, right? So where are we here on the hourly? We can see that on the hourly as well, we came up here in these waves, and we are currently finding some support here at 51,300. We actually retested that 50,500 level. So on the hourly we can see that we move up in these waves. We are moving sideways at the moment, and here on the hourly we can see that we are losing on the MACD a little bit. The MACD is turning a little bit bearish at the moment on the hourly, on the short-term time frame, but that's no surprise because we came also into the overbought range here on the hourly. So we're a little bit overbought on the shorter-term time frames, which is why you have that little bit of a correction now. So we had that here, at the top of that wave, and that's typically what just happens, when you come into the overbought range. So you have these small retracements, and again, in my view, the market has not quite decided yet if we have finished this correction. Just to be aware of that. Let's start with Cardano. A lot of people frustrated why Cardano is not catching up, but we had this orange triangle on the chart. With this triangle here, we can see that we are trading within this pattern. It's a very clearly defined triangle, and what I said yesterday, but we'll get to that in a minute. So here we still trade in the bearish range of the RSI, so we need to wait for a breakout there. Typically when that happened, you can see that here last time, that was end of July, we saw really nice price increases. Also here, that was in April. Whenever we broke the 50 line, we typically saw some very nice moves, and were in then, when Cardano broke the 50 line, we were typically in a longer term uptrend. Okay, so you have these long periods where we are over 50, and then these longer periods where we are below 50. But when we decide which way to go, then we are typically going that way, and we don't have a fake breakout. So that's an important level to watch. We're currently at the, let's call it 47, 48 level. So if we get above that, then we can possibly expect a nice move to the upside. So let's just be a bit more patient. I talked about that. We can possibly also extend that trend line actually, and then have something similar on the chart like we have with so many other cryptos, like with I believe Koti and some of the other ones that I covered, some of the other altcoins that I covered in my previous video. So that makes this then a very, very important trend line, right? Because you don't only have it here, that triangle, you have it down here as well. In that whole move throughout July and the beginning of August, we had all these moves and all these touches. It's quite an important trend line. That is also why we stopped here, and we're now trading in this triangle. But we also have that descending trend line here, where the price is now squeezed into the apex. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. And what I did say yesterday is that, in my view, we could test that. When was my update video yesterday? I don't know, in one of my update videos yesterday, I said what could happen, we come up once more, test that resistance line, and then drop once more. And I think that's pretty much what happened. We tried to break through. Here we came up to 225, then we came all the way down to 219 again, and I think we could even come down once more to the 211 level or 210, right? just purely because that is our key support line here. It's a key level of support here, and as we're moving into this apex, the price is getting squeezed and squeezed, and the the tension is growing. So let's just see. I think there will be a nice breakout. Should the breakout happen today, the price target would actually be here at 272, because what you do, you take the height of that triangle. Well, I took that height here because this is where most recently the triangle actually touched at the upper side, right? But actually looking at that, I think we have something big here, because I could even extend it to that. So we have a bigger triangle and a bigger price target, and actually, yeah, I think that's rather the start. So that would really push us probably up to $3.10. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to say because it's not clearly defined where the triangle starts really. So yeah, it's a bit difficult, but what we can certainly say is that this is a nice or very interesting structure, at least, that you can't really see with many other cryptos at the moment. This triangle here, which is why Cardano is being held down. So I think there's a lot of pressure building up, and as soon as that breaks free, we can expect some significant price moves. As I said, we are still on the daily here below 50 on the RSI, so still in the bearish range, which is surprising given what's happening in the Cardano space, that the mainnet is really running without any issues. But the good sign is, when other cryptos are moving up, that Cardano has a lot to catch up, as it had before. I can't stress that enough. It did it before. It fell behind and it caught up before the move to $3.10. And even on the hourly here, we're not in the overbought range. So there is a lot of scope, that means, to the upside as well, right? So if we break that 50 line, there is a lot of scope that we could potentially really have a nice move to the upside before we have another retracement, which is of course totally normal, because you don't just always move up or down in a straight move. And then, nobody knows if the breakout will happen to the upside or the downside. My view here is Cardano. If Bitcoin continues to stay at that level or trades further up, then Cardano will break to the upside as well. However, if Bitcoin should suffer from here even another strong drop to the downside, then I think Cardano could suffer as well, and could potentially at first drop to $2.10. And if that drops, then we could really get into the $2 range again, and possibly even 180. But at the moment, with Bitcoin up here, and hopefully Bitcoin will continue its move to the upside, even though there is still risk that we come down once more, there is still risk. If Bitcoin stays above that level, then Cardano will have some nice moves to the upside, and I'm sure we will first see here the 236 level, which is the height of that, the top of that resistance line. Then we've got 245, 263, and 280 is certainly a very, very important one. Those were the peaks here of that head and shoulders before we broke down initially. So this was here on the 11th and the 12th of September. So a very important level to watch as well. So yeah, it remains very, very interesting. It looks a bit boring on the chart with Cardano at the moment, but don't forget, in the next few days, we're moving into this apex, and the breakout could really happen any minute. All right, so I think actually, should Bitcoin break the 53,000, because that is a very important level for Bitcoin as well. If we move to the left, we can see that 53K, there you go, that high, that local high here. I think if Bitcoin should really continue its move in that to the upside in that speed, and if it breaks that, I think then Cardano will certainly follow. I'd be surprised if not, because that would really be another very, very important resistance level that Bitcoin here is getting through. And then, Cardano could hopefully follow latest at that point. And, it's just a few more days before we really move into the apex, but the breakout could happen at any time now. All right, so hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.